What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Strength Solutions Podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Check us out on YouTube. Leave comment down below. Subscribe right now. Then you're going to go to our app, download the app, sign up for a free assessment if you're in San Antonio, and then enjoy meeting one of us wonderful trainers at Strength Solutions.
Yeah.
Then our website is strengthsolutionspodcast.com. We have free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. If you want us to talk about a particular fitness topic or something that you want to hear about, please let us know. We'll take advantage of that email. Then Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram is Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
You know, I've been training for over 12 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't learned anything. No, I'm just kidding. So what I really want to do is you sent me this really cool post and pretty much things that we've changed our mind on and literally learned over time and learned how to explain them a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You know, and so like I want to start out with this. I hate fucking group classes.
Mm-hmm.
Hate it. But they do have their positive side.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is to communicate that you still need strength training. You could still have the social aspect of your class, but be aware at the pace of what you're going, be aware what you're doing. Also, it's a great way to meet friends.
Yeah.
Do healthy things with other people and just have fun instead of like such a strenuous, hardcore, let's strength train. All the goal is to muscle build. You know, it could be more, fitness can be more than just build muscle and look a certain way.
I think, as trainers, I think we see classes as difficult to do, right? As trainers, you're like, should be one-on-one. What if these people have injuries? You know, like we think about it slightly differently, but I think as a client, it's really accessible. Like you said, it's fun, it's sociable. It's not as daunting of a task, right? It's more of just like, let's just go and move and do stuff together. But I do think that if you are partaking in the class, you just have to be, you have to know that you have to be more aware of yourself, right? The trainer or the person leading the class is primarily there to just tell you what to do. You know, they're not there to check your form or things like that. They might try and do whatever, but if you got a class of 25 people, like how much can you really do?
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I'm agreeing with you. They're a tool, right? They're something that people can use.
Great for social.
Yeah, for sure.
Great to, a lot of these classes are great for heart rate or yoga to calm the body down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super awesome for certain things and maybe not the most for others.
Yeah. Another thing I learned is social media is dumb.
Yeah, it sucks.
You know, okay, let me give you the caveat, right? So if you listen to us a lot, we talk about like where it's good, where it's bad. Where social media is good, you could learn how to educate yourself really well, but understand there's nuance beyond what they're saying. So I remember watching all these like fixed pain stuff like that. Do this glute bridge like this. And yes, it's going to help you, but there's a lot of individual nuance when you work with people. You're like, well, maybe you need to push through your toes a little bit more when you do the glute bridge. Maybe the glute bridge is not what's helping you with your back pain because it's actually opening up your adductors that allow the pelvis to open up a little bit more. So I literally have someone right now who's came back from a trip. They were in a bed that was not very comfortable for like 14 days.
Yeesh.
And they literally are like, my back hurts. And I did my like little assessment and stuff like that. And really it's about opening the adductor, getting the band to open up the hip capsule a little bit more and get the femur to open up and just back pain starts going away. I mean, I saw them today. They walked way different.
Very nice, man. Yeah. I mean, in terms of social media, it's like, even in terms of like marketing and things like that, like you don't really get a lot from social media, you know, as personal trainers. Like you could post all day or do your content and things like that, but it's really, I don't know, just a place to have a presence. But yeah, I mean,
hold on. You really have to sell your soul to social media to really do it.
Yeah.
You have to give up like, okay, I got to be this character. I got to like literally post every single day. It's your life. It's a career.
It's a job.
It's
right?
a big job. It's not like I just show up and I'm going to be
fun
famous.
And we're doing this. Yeah. It is very difficult. And yeah, I mean, there are again, good aspects of it. There's a lot of information. You can go and find people who are good. But again, it's one of those things where you just have to be aware who you're listening to, what you're listening to. Does it pertain to you? There might be whole information that maybe is really good, but it's just not going to help you at all because, I don't know, your life is different, your body's different, your injuries are different, and it just really, really depends.
Yeah, I want to go to one of the posts that on social media to bring up with this is like the avoiding ultra processed food thing, right? So there's one guy who posted like, "Oh, this is so much bullshit," right, and all that stuff. It's fucking hard to do ultra processed food, right?
Yeah.
But also, he's coming from a wealthier background.
Yeah.
He's in not a food scarce area. He's in a area that's very knowledgeable and healthy. I know kind of more about this person, right?
Yeah.
He probably grew up a certain way. So like this concept of like individuality doesn't exist within the social media realm.
And it was funny because you sent that post and I think I replied and I was like, man, this guy's great, but I don't know if I like fully agree with this one. Because the post said something along the lines of like avoiding ultra processed food is impossible. Like there's no way to avoid it at all. And in his caption, he was like, oh, well then, everybody that I know and myself, how are we doing it? It's got to be possible in some way, right? And I went through some of the comments and I was like, man, not that these people are like disconnected, but there's a slight amount of that because I was reading them and they're like, oh, well, my baby has never even had any processed food. Like we eat steak and broccoli every day. And it's like, okay, sure. But like how many people are really actually able to do this? Who has the time, right? Are you, these people may be single parents or stay-at-home parents, right? Is what I should say. They may have a lot of money. They may have help. They may have like live-in people that are helping them do these things. So they have the time and ability to do it.
I think it's time to stop saying that we all have 24 hours in a day. We all have different 24 hours in a day.
Yes. Yeah. Cause I do agree. We all have 24 hours in a day, right? And everybody can make priorities to make time for something, but what that is and how that looks is going to be completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is there anything you think you've learned in the last couple of years that you're just like, okay, I remember I thought it was like this.
Yeah.
But it's totally not.
One of the ones that he said is one that like really reverberated with me. And I might explain it slightly different, but I usually tell people, or I've learned over time, that certain things need to be said by certain people for someone to listen to them.
Yes.
And I've learned that through relationships. I've learned that through just friendships and especially through personal training. I may tell them everything, right? I may tell them all of the answers to how to do their macros or how to work out or whatever, but they, for whatever reason, they go home and their friend who's been working out for years says it and they're like, oh my God, that makes total sense. And I'm sitting there like, God damn it, I've been telling you this for years,
I know I've got the same thing.
I think I told you a story a long time ago where I had a client who, dude, years, I love this guy. We're friends. Like we still talk to this day. And one day he came in and was like talking about all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, like that's all right. Like, and I was just like, why is he now repeating things I've told him? And he was like, I found this guy on YouTube the other day. I think his programming is like Renaissance programming or RP strength or something like that. And I was like, oh, Dr. Mike. And he was like, yeah, dude, everything that he said, I was like, oh my God, this makes sense. And I was just like, and I was like, but
I told you that.
Yeah. And he did admit it. He was like, a lot of it, I was like, I'm pretty sure Nathaniel's told me this. And I was like, yeah, but it's just one of those things. And I think as personal trainers too, you can't take it personal. Like you have to I'm just happy that this guy finally is acknowledging the information, finally gets it. Maybe Dr. Mike was able to provide it in a way that was more like he just received it better. I don't know.
He's just better than you, Dr. Mike.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where I've learned that over time that even when I have a client and I know what's going on, or I may, they may have a weight issue or a food relationship problem, but they don't need me to tell them it's okay. They need, their mom to tell them sorry for something, and then they can finally move past their food stuff. And it's just like, that's just the way it is. Yeah. That's my big one.
I'll give you my big one.
What is it?
My big one is going to be a little bit more scientific.
Okay.
We as human think muscle just moves the body and it's completely dumb. right? And it doesn't really have any other effects.
Yeah.
But as you study the organ of muscle, and it could, like, if you had a ribeye cut versus a like filet mignon, right?
Yeah.
Like the amount of fat tissue in between could like tell you how healthy your muscle is actually, right? Also, the way it moves is all from the brain.
Yeah.
Instead, we're like, you need, this muscle's weak. Instead of thinking it's a recruitment pattern that's the issue, we think it's the muscle that's the issue. It's actually the recruitment pattern. And so we don't give enough respect to the brain, tempo, and isometrics, really learning how to control the brain to move the body in the manner that you need to move it.
Yeah, like today I have a client who's had multiple shoulder dislocations and has had rotator cuff issues. Went to PT, things like that. We were working together today. I see her very seldom, so we don't really get to work together too often. But with a lot of the movements, I was like, look, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-pound kettlebell that we're moving right now. I need you to move it slow. I need you to move it controlled, do the whole range of motion, reach all the way up through, control it on the way back down. Because at this point, I'm not really worried about just building muscle or things like that. I'm worried about you being able to control things. Once we can get through this, then we can go back to the other part, right? But it's not all just about getting to the gym and like you there's a lot of, like you said, like science that goes into it.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we forget that when it comes to strength training and using these different variables, and I guess I'll add this part to it, is when we're talking about building muscle, you could build muscle in the lower rep range, the mid rep range, and the high rep range,
right?
Regardless of it. And then you're seeing like guys like Jeff Nippard who are like, you need this much volume. And now he's starting to do less volume, higher intensity. And he's like, oh, this is building so much muscle. It's just a new stimulus. And I think we're just dumb to think that there's one way to do things. I mean, powerlifters are big, and they lift only heavy. Bodybuilders do a little bit more reps. Strongmen are big, and they do a mixture of both because they have to have endurance and they have to be strong.
And the funny thing too, like going back to the social media topic, is that like now that Jeff is doing this, everybody that follows him or his audience is going to be like, oh, wow, this is new. You figured it out. Now I'm going to start training like this, blah, blah. This was the way to do it the whole time, and it's like, we're back. That's where it's
then they're going to go right back to the high volume.
Yeah.
And you just go back and forth. Sometimes I'm in a strength training phase that is 6 days a week and I'm doing like almost like a split. Then like lately I've been backing off and I'll do 3 because my joints are starting to talk to me. They're like, hey, Edwin, you need to chill out. You're not 20 or anything, you're a little double to that. But now my body's telling me, okay, I need to back off a little bit more. I need to lower my intensity. I need to do a little bit more endurance work, and I'll back off. And then when I go back into my strength training, I'm going to be better for it because now my stroke volume's better because I have better endurance and I can output that last rep that I need to put out in a heavy weight. And they all work together.
Yeah.
So I saw this video, and you want to know what's pro small business? Universal healthcare.
I agree.
It's crazy. I started thinking about it a little bit more, and then as he was talking, and I was like, you know what? We've literally have had a trainer come here, and they didn't take the job because there's no benefits with it, right?
Yeah.
And imagine like being able to want to help people, but you're so worried about your health care that you can't do it, and then you got to go find a job that provides it.
Doing something that maybe you either don't love or is not just what you want to do.
Yeah. And then also talking to our financial guy, he's like, that's why they call them the golden handcuffs. Mm-hmm. And so imagine how many people would create small businesses if universal healthcare was around, because they were like, at least I know in an emergency, I can be taken care of.
Because that's a huge thing. I mean, especially for employees and for owners themselves, right? Like so many small business companies that I know are especially, and I think we talked about this a lot, but I think the job market is moving more towards this sort of like entrepreneurial solo, practicing type things where people are just doing nails or doing personal training or working for themselves, selling art or things like that. No one is like staying at these large corporations for years on end or doing anything. And while that continues and people try to continue to work for themselves and do better, then that healthcare becomes a huge issue. You know, it's like no personal training studio at the moment that I know of at least is like offering any of that for trainers, you know,
because they can't. It's not financially feasible.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, they have the purpose of naming them as contractors so we don't have to provide anything for them because they're not employees and et cetera, et cetera. But if, you know, if, like you said, if everybody had healthcare or wasn't so worried, right? Like in these emergency situations, what's going to happen to their family, what's going to happen to whatever. Cause dude, I've had clients who have worked at jobs that they hate doing. They're tired of it. They've been doing it for years. They hate the management, like, et cetera. But they're like, everywhere I go, you know, I can't get the same rate for my health insurance. And so I just have to stay.
Although that's going to go anyways up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Most people can't afford health insurance at this point. So might as well do a universal health care.
Who cares? Yeah.
I'm just saying.
New Mexico's doing it. Are they still alive?
I don't know. So what people think actually, according to this Harvard study, what people think actually makes you live long is like fitness, health, and all this stuff. But according to this Harvard study, it's about friendships.
Interesting.
And social aspects.
Yeah.
And so there is truth to this, right? And so what I would say is in science, what they do is independently look at these variables and they're like, which variable is the most important?
Yeah.
I will say social interactions are very important, but at the same time, if you have social interactions, you're less stressed. So you probably sleep better. You're also probably with a group of friends. So you're probably moving more or you're doing more activity. And there becomes multiple components of the social friendships.
You know what's funny is I often like crack jokes about like older people who have lived till they're like 100 and you know, they'll interview them and be like, what's the secret? And they're like,
Dr. Pepper a day.
Yeah. They're like, you know, 8 cups of whiskey and blah, blah, blah. And it's funny because you look at it and you're like, dude, how's this person alive? But I think the thing that we like don't take into account is that let's say if this person has been drinking for a long time. Okay. I would imagine that drinking is a social activity. You go to the bar, you meet your friends, they come over, you hang out, you do whatever. And while there's a million things that are wrong with drinking, right? I wonder if the thing that's taken them so long through life is the fact that they've had these long friendships or people that they know, or they go to the bar and they talk about their day or their problems and stuff like that. And it's just like a way to release and stuff. So it's not the drinking that's keeping them alive, right? But the social aspect, especially as you get older in life, that becomes, you know, how many times do people's, you know, spouses die and then they die like a month later, you know, because
men do really bad.
Yeah.
Like men last, I think, don't quote me on this, but I would say like 3 months.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure it's 3 months is what I've heard. Yeah. And so it's like, because dude, loneliness, it'll literally kill you.
Because what happens with men is they usually take on the women's friends and the women doesn't take on the men's friends.
I see.
Typically in a relationship, right? So doesn't really happen like that most of the time. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right.
Also, more guys tend to be more closed off.
Yeah, especially in a situation like that, you just don't go to anyone. And then if you are older, you'd probably just have less people to even go to.
But we can't talk about men's problems.
Right, sorry.
You don't count.
We'll move on.
You know, speaking of men, we have to be bored. We're boring people.
Yeah, sit around.
No, so there's there's a Harvard professor. I really like his work. And he's like, the problem with a lot of people is they need to be bored.
Yeah.
And boredom allows you to do a lot of things. And you get to be more grateful for the good times. You also, in boredom, you get to like search your brain for things. So just think about like simple things that we do today that we don't allow ourselves to be bored. We take out our phone we're in the line at HEB or whatever grocery store or Starbucks. You're on your phone. So you're not allowing the brain just to like
ever shut off. Yeah. I forgot he had like a term for it, right? When you like go into this like idle mode type thing. And he was like, the issue is that people don't want to be in that idle mode because then you start to think about stuff that you like are maybe not wanting to think about. Like, oh, this problem I have at work or my life, or what can I do to better the situation that I'm going through or things like that. And so like people tend to continuously give themselves tasks to sort of avoid having to kind of have those thoughts, right? But if you do have those thoughts, you're probably going to be a lot happier because you're going to be able to figure them out and move past whatever, situations or ideas that you had, or executing a fun hobby or anything. Right. And it's funny because Camille often says this. She's always like, dude, kids need to be bored. They just got to sit there and do nothing, and it's funny because I think back to like when I was a kid, and dude, I was bored all the time.
No, mine was like straight party.
Dude, like literally I'd sit around and just like do nothing all the time. Like, but you think about doing nothing, right? And then it's like, but I think, and I'm like, no, but I was outside and I was like looking at bugs, like crawling around, or like digging in the dirt with a spoon, and
you're being creative.
Yeah, I'm looking at roots.
Getting your microbiome better because you're touching the dirt.
Yeah, I was eating it, and but it's bugs. Like, it's funny because like you just
roly-polies are the best.
I do literally, when I was a kid, I like built a little quote unquote roly-poly farm, and I found like all these stones, and I like put them together, and I like got all these roly-polies and collected them and like put them in the thing, and it's like, does that really accomplish anything? Probably not. But I was just having fun. Like,
actually,
learning,
it accomplishes a lot. It teaches you how to build architecture.
True.
Where the gravity, right? Mm-hmm. Caring about other animals besides yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So
see there. Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Build yourself a roly-poly.
But if I wasn't bored, I would have never done it. And now I like roly-poly.
I wonder if that's why like the lack of empathy is there, because people are not bored, so they're not thinking in an empathetic way
about other.
I literally had a conversation. I don't know if you heard me with my client.
No, I don't know.
We're talking about like, oh, this person's stupid. Why are they in this relationship with this other person where there's so many red flags with this person? And I was like, you got to come with empathy.
Yeah.
And then 2, you got to realize your transactions in your brain are not the same transactions someone else has received. So is there something in that person's life? And then as we dug deeper, she's like, oh, there's this. And I was like, that's it right there.
There you go. Yeah.
And I was like, you assume everybody has your life. And I think this is what people do all the time, is they assume a life of everybody from their scope of vision.
Yeah.
And I think this is what makes us great as trainers, is literally we have to see different scopes. We have to see different bodies. We have to ask for different movements, different jobs that these people have, and really adapt to them individually. And I think that's where everything needs to go in society. Have that empathy for them. Like I've had someone who's like, my hip hurts, and I was like, well, how do you drive? And they're like, well, I drive like this. And then I went out to their car and I was like, oh, that's causing an issue. It's not her job, the way she sits down in her job, because she sat down in her chair. I was like, you're sitting right there. But when you get in the car, you like shift your hip up. You don't even realize it. And so every transaction that goes in someone's brain, there's always a stimulus coming in and going out, in and out, without you even thinking about it. And you really have to start with empathy, really think logically, because they're like, I'm a logical thinker and I could see all this stuff. Well, you're not logically thinking, because you're not thinking from their perspective of all the transactions that acquired over time, and that caused her to see this guy like this. Yeah,
it really is. That
it changes
deep.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot of transactions.
Man.
Just like why are parents today going crazy with kids? Because we have to watch our kids 24 hours.
Yeah.
I was like reading. I was like, dang man, our parents didn't watch us back then.
No, dude. I would like wake up, maybe eat breakfast, and then I was like outside all damn day, just like running around, playing, whatever. I didn't want to come inside,
Dude, I was like 5 miles away from my house one time.
Yeah.
And someone just drove up and they knew us. They're like, y'all are a little far from where y'all need to be. They picked us up and they took us back.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's like, we'd get on our skateboards and just like go, and we're like, when I was older.
Do you know why we're that far? Sorry, I just thought about it. Because my friend kept on going, it's not that far, I promise. We drive over there. And so you're thinking in concept of time when you're young.
Yeah.
Versus mileage.
Right.
And so a car is a lot faster than you walking. So we're just like fucking going.
Yeah. And it's like, especially when I got older and we did have cars, we'd be like, oh, we're going to go to the movies. And then we'd just like go out for like 8 hours and come back home. And, it was just like, whatever.
It's just wild, dude.
It's just different times.
Yeah. I think like, the adaptation of parenting too, I think men do a lot more than they did in the past, right? Overall, at least from my friends that I have and stuff.
Sure.
Like cleaning and all that stuff and sharing duties and sharing being more involved in the kid, right? I feel like parenting's a lot harder because I remember like dads weren't present back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good dad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's done stuff with us, but I know me and my brother's a lot more present with our kids than what.
And it may have just been
he was. And I'm not saying he was a bad parent or anything. I'm just saying we're forcing ourselves to be more present.
And it's just like the roles are different too. So it's like where the dad, right, in the past may have just been like, all you do is work. You just work and make money and come home and go to bed, you know, and it's
money.
Yeah. And, you know, so you just by necessity just had like very little relationship with them, you know,
because you had to, right?
Because they had to.
You know, the sun, I learned this today.
Oh yeah.
That it actually rains on the sun.
I heard that. Yeah.
Isn't that a crazy concept?
Nice little spring
and
shower.
It's like what leads to the solar flares.
They're saying it's like a plasma rain, right? It's not rain like you think of here because, well, there's no water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were saying that, that it could be a good predictor of like
the water touches.
That it could be a good predictor of when we're going to have like solar events, like solar flares or EMP flashes or things like that. But the thing that I thought was interesting is that they were like, this changes like the whole concept idea of what we had of like what the surface of the sun is like. And if it's, you know, like this, what other things do we not know about other planets or places and stuff like that? But it's interesting. Yeah. Cause I mean, what the hell is the sun? Like there's no liquid, you know, there's nothing on there, but apparently
liquid courage.
There's some type of it, you know?
Yeah. All right. So just one more fitness thing before we go into the studies.
What is it? Let's go.
It's time to say, if you have anxiety, you should check out on November 1st.
November 8th.
8th. Dang it, man. Dude, I keep on getting it wrong.
It's so funny. I heard you talking to your client the other day and you were like, Nathaniel, what is it? What is it? Yeah. She was like, do you know? November 8th, here at the gym. It's a Saturday. We're going to be from 1 to about 3, depending on how long it is.
It says 1 to 2:30.
Okay, that'll probably work too.
3
yeah.
Now I'll play with you. I'll play with you.
Yeah, we're having our From Fear to Fitness event. I gotta sneeze. I'm scared. We're gonna have our licensed therapist come by. Good friend of ours. She is going to host a event with us for some of our clients, some of her patients, things like that. Talking about anxieties, you know, maybe related to the gym or fitness in general, but also just in the concept of like succeeding, trying to do the best for yourself, support systems, things like that, and reasons why maybe people are fearful of the gym, fearful of trying to engage in just a new activity, right? Something that is maybe outside of their comfort zone. And learn how to get past that, or just to explain, you know, what this feels like. And, you know, in the flyer that we had built, we were talking about maybe being able to find other people, right, who share your same anxieties and fears, and maybe forming, you know, a group for each other, like where, hey, we both are worried about the gym. It seems a little less daunting if we go together now, you know, or just, you know, if you feel like you maybe need therapy, right, you could go and try and find an option there. Or if you feel like you need fitness, you know, we want to be a place where people feel comfortable, non-judgmental, welcoming, and take you through this process that is, you know, for some people, very anxiety inducing.
I think we just got to change the concept of fitness, and social media does a bad job, like beast mode, going crazy and doing all this stuff. We need to change it back into, look, start small, build over time. It'll get easier and easier. If you start there, just like when you start reading, you learn the alphabet. A goes with alligator. B with banana, right? You put those things, and then you go to another grade level, and then you start putting, T-O, that's 2. T-O-O, 2 as well. Okay. Then you start putting sentences together. Then you start comprehending at a bigger level. Then you comprehend a higher level. Then you're in high school. You're like, I pretty much can read a book and comprehend this on my own. I just need to be scaffolded to know if I'm comprehending this correctly. Right. And think about fitness as that same journey, starting small and slowly building over time, and give yourself time. I think that's the big thing with fitness that people don't do.
100%. Hope to see y'all there from Pure to Fitness.
November 8th. I got it.
November 8th.
At 1 o'clock.
There you go. Yes. Dang. Okay. Let's go.
And then sign up on our website.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can sign up on the website. We have it there. If you go to it, the first homepage, I put it up right on the front, real big for you to see. Or you can click on the events tab and go from there. It's totally free. So you just go through, you sign up. We have like kind of limited spaces. So if you don't see any quote tickets available, just feel free to come by anyway.
It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Packed house.
All right, let's go into our studies. Being too thin can be deadlier than being overweight. Danish study reveals research shows that some people in the normal weight range are more likely to die than those in an overweight category. Even some of those in the living with obesity.
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
It is very interesting. I think we often see people who are obese as just like, oh, well, that person's unhealthy. You know, they're probably sick. They got diabetes. They don't work out.
Thyroid issues.
Yeah. And I think we look at people who are skinny, right? Like quote unquote. And we just go like, oh, look, see, we should be looking like them. They're so healthy. They probably work out all the time. They eat super well, blah, blah, blah. And you have no idea why this person is at this weight or what other issues they're dealing with, man, because I don't know if I agree that it's deadlier. I think they both have
deadly parts.
Yeah, yeah.
See, this is where we talk about like wording matters, and this is where the science and social media kind of like bastardize words.
Right. Yeah. But at this point, both of them should be considered health risks. You know, because if you're, I feel like I have more issues with clients who have little to no muscle mass. They have more pain, more issues.
And they're skinny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And outwardly, you would look at them and be like, oh, well, this person is fit. You know, they're attractive. They look great. You know, they must, do this and that and blah, blah, blah. Look at them. They got a small waist or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but they're also in pain all the time. They can't do their jobs. They're tired every day. They don't sleep well. And it's like, I feel like I literally have more issues with people like that than I do with clients who would be considered overweight.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you a personal story because I was literally talking to my neighbor the other day, and we were talking about how like the concept of fitness and how crazy it is that we feel better today, heavier than when we're like 7% body fat. Our abs were showing. We're always tired and all those things. But it just shows like, it doesn't matter if you look a certain way. It's how you feel.
Yeah.
There's also a genetic component of like, you can be leaner and still feel good versus being genetic component. I need a little bit of fat mass on me. Now there is a too much and there's not enough. Like most things, I think fitness wise, there's always a too much and then there's not enough.
Yep.
People hate our fucking answer.
Yeah.
Because we're like, I don't know. Just depends on you. And then there's depends.
I got no idea, man. Yeah.
I say depends so many times. I should own the depends diaper.
We should, every time we say we should put on a diaper.
Depends.
And then I'll poop.
Supercharged vitamin K could help with the brain heal itself. So researchers have synthesized an enhanced vitamin K that outperforms natural vitamin K in promoting neuron growth. The new compounds, which combine vitamin K with uric acid, activate the mGlu-R1 receptor drive neurogenesis. I'm going to go in there. Just pretty much it helps heal the brain. Right?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Science.
Now, I know that neurogenesis is probably one of the things that has been like the hardest to do.
Neurogenesis.
I think
what it sounds like.
At the moment, the only one that I know of, and I'm not anybody that knows anything about this, but the only thing that I've ever heard that does actually create neurogenesis, which is the creation of new neurons, is fasting. I've heard that fasting is actually able to create new neurons, which beyond that, there's not many ways. Once a neuron is gone, it's just kind of gone. So being able, and it's funny because this is like the third week in a row that we've had some sort of breakthrough in like mental like diseases.
Yeah, like Alzheimer's.
What was the other one? Huntington's disease. Yeah. And then now this, and at the end it says, discovery could pave the way for regenerative treatments for Alzheimer's and related diseases. which is fantastic, man. I think we're like headed in the right direction with this, which is awesome.
You know what I love is they're taking stuff that the body already uses,
Yeah.
and they're figuring it out, just like with
Isn't
GLP-1s and
that-
peptides.
Dude, it's fucking crazy.
That's where
because
science is headed.
That's where it's headed. Yeah. And it's funny because I'm like, how long has this been unknown? Because I think about it with fitness, right? And it's like with PT or any of those things, it's like you just use the body to heal the body. You know, it's like you just need to move the right way. We need to increase blood flow. You need to do it slower. You need to do this. And it's
The
like,
problem is it's not profitable.
yeah, you can't sell that.
That's the problem.
It's not sexy.
And that's why I do think capitalism has to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
When-
There's the answer.
yeah.
Never mind.
But it's cool that we're actually using things that are natural to our
Yeah.
bodies.
Are they going to call
And
it
trying to-
Special K?
It's going to be in your cereal.
No, that was my joke for the day. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about it for a week.
Special K, special K. I thought you were going to do a little dance. Special- Weren't you doing like
Give
that?
me a K. That's how do you do it?
Don't do it 3 times though.
Let's go. We got to get off the line.
All right, guys. If y'all like what we're doing, you can share. Like, we're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and check out our new app. If you want to sign up for a free assessment and you're in San Antonio, check out that app. It's Strength Solutions. Email strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Website strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Deuces.
See ya.